Yeah, so I made a Mentimeter poll that you can go ahead, and I see some people have already started putting in their opinions about how excited we are about the destinations that we talked about today, and also destinations coming up for PRISM payloads. I can share my screen here so that we can, for our first question. So you guys can go into that link and put in the code. Just go to menti.com and put in the code, and you'll be able to then answer, okay, how excited are you about the things that we've talked about today and other locations that are coming up for PRISM. And then in the meantime, maybe we can open up the chat and have a look and see what other just open the chat again. Windows closed. Okay, I no longer can see the chat. So maybe Pascal can open the chat and have a look to see what questions might.
Yep. So I'll start from the most recent one I see. Ryan Watkins, to everyone, I'd like to write in Gruithuisen domes here. I guess that's for the menti.com input, right? Ryan?
Yep, exactly. I have another Menti activity in a few minutes once people have a chance to go into this one, where you can actually do write-in of 2 locations that we don't have on this spider plot.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
Here's a question for Harry, which is a sort of a follow-up on a chat question that you had about what instrumentation or what rover scenario or strategy you might use to explore the various sites that you have there. So why don't you do this verbally with us right now?
Sure, more than happy. Well, I guess the question is whether we should have the spider-like approach or the loop approach. And so the spider-like approach is probably better if you have no night survivability, you know, and so you're restricted to shorter traverses. So there you could go basically on a shorter distance and bring maybe back samples for if the Rima-Bode site is one of the later ones, you know, where you have sample return. So that could be an option. I mean, you could also move the landing site, of course, towards specific targets of interest. You know, if you're more interested in the Wrinkle Ridge traverse, then of course you would land closer there and so forth. And in terms of instruments, I think cameras are obviously the most important thing, but also some spectrometers and some elemental chemistry instruments. So that would be something. And if you are interested in the ISRU, you need to bring some oven or have a laser that basically evaporates the material, the pyroclastic, so that could be an option. And in terms of the physical properties, you could just look at the wheel, for example, how deeply it sinks in to get an idea of the porosity of the regolith and so forth. And also remember, it's not all about the rover. You could have a very capable lander itself, because it's a 1.5 ton lander, and so you can have a very comprehensive geophysical suite of instruments that remain on the lander and stay there for an extended period of time. So
yep, very good, very good. And before I forget, I also just received a message from Greg Schmidt to everyone. They will be playing Ryan Watkins's video that we didn't have time for during the STEM Mothers presentation. This video will be played during the break in the plenary session at 9:15. Okay, so this is the video from Ryan Watkins we didn't get a chance to watch earlier. Okay, let's see, do we have another question? Ryan Watkins's video, will be sharing the video. Breaking the Maternal Wall in STEM is the title of the video, I think. All right.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and change the Mentimeter to the next interaction, where you can type in 2 destinations that were not on the spider plot.
Okay.
And then we can continue with discussing any of the other questions that were in the chat.
Okay, any other, we still have 70 participants here, so any other questions for our speakers or just topics to discuss? Okay.
I'm seeing that just already in the word cloud that we're getting, I mean, five respondents really like Rutisen domes or Sarkis Plateau. It
Yep.
seems like there's a big focus on volcanic materials. Now we're seeing silicic domes and Marius Hills as well, Compton Velkovich. So it's clear, I think, despite, we have a number of landing sites that have been selected for different regions or for different reasons, but volcanic evolution of the moon is still a super important topic.
Yep. And of course, the Gruithuisen domes are a target for the next PRISM call, as most of you probably know. Okay, I'm seeing a question here from Hillary Downs. Is anyone thinking about a mission that would collect some olivine-rich material that might be from the lunar mantle? It's well, part of the holy grail, of course, of why we're so interested in the South Pelican Basin, for example. But
yeah, I was just going to jump in and say that. I mean, going to the Olivine Hills area, the center part of the SPA Basin, one of the goals there would be to collect mantle material.
So responses from, but those of you who are responding by chat, we can talk. You can unmute your mics and chime in verbally at this point. So David Kring, for example, responds, perhaps there is a mantle xenolith in the Schrödinger pyroclastic vent and nearby Mare. Yes, that would be very exciting to find. Anything that takes us to the Schrödinger pyroclastic vent is exciting to me, for one thing.
Okay, Hillary is saying not mantle xenoliths, but olivine material excavated by impact. So I guess there we would need to look at remote sensing detections of olivine materials in central peaks of impact craters and things like that, and would just need to plan in visiting one of those locations on a traverse.
Okay, another question. So once again, feel free to unmute and ask or raise your hand, or there's a raise your hand option under reactions at the bottom of your Zoom screen menu.
Now I know we had a lot of questions for Yuki about the Chang'e 5 sample return, and Yuki is just mentioning in the chat that the Chang'e 6 will sample the SPA in 2024, and that mantle material is one of the most interesting targets there. Yep.
Actually, I'm glad you bring this up, Yuki. I think there was a question that would be of interest to everyone to discuss is there a process to work on samples from the Chang'e 5 mission if one is outside of China?
Currently, as far as I know, currently, if international scientists want to work on the samples, you can join the Chinese team. And CINSA has, according to the CINSA's Chang'e 5 sample policies, the samples will be available to scientists outside China. Finally, the question is when they start to receive proposals from scientists outside China. And in a media conference, the same media conference that CINSA delivered the samples to Chinese scientists, they said that they are formulating the rules and details of the sample application for scientists outside China. But this kind of policies and rules should be approved by the government. After that, they will release the details and you will know. And I think someone will put this in the lunar list or in the social media, and you will know how you can apply the samples. And as far as I know, this is the 25 sample application run every 3 months, and next time is September. I think, as far as I know, I think is a December one, and scientists outside China can apply the samples, and we will see actually, and I think the rules will be released very soon.
Yep. I mean, I personally don't do sample analysis, but is there a website where one would find these applications, or are you saying that they're not quite ready yet?
There is a Chinese website, and I can put this in the link, and Google Translation can tell you very well the meanings, thanks to Google. And as far as I know, the engineering team, the programmer are preparing an English website as well, and I think will come together with the start of things are receiving international applications of the sample.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
It's very
Okay.
exciting times.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, well, if there are no other burning questions for us to discuss right now, I would suggest that we close the session so that everybody can take a break before the video is played at quarter after, the one from Ryan Watkins. And I'd like to thank my co-chair for helping me host a very interesting session. I'm glad that you were all here. And I'd also like to thank Ashkan for doing an excellent job of guiding us through the technology and also taking care of Chesko's talk since he couldn't be here. And so we look forward to seeing you in the poster sessions and in the next parallel sessions later on.
Thanks, everybody.